But in Seattle, coaching innovation has positioned Rocky Seto as the defensive passing game coordinator, connecting the defensive spokes that keep those Super Bowl wheels turning.
My job is to meet the needs of the players and the coaches, help everyone become successful. You know, the Seahawks are gracious enough to come up with that title, the first in the history of football. So I look at everything on the pass game, even the run game. I try to be another set of eyes.
The Seahawks are staring down sustained success as the youngest Super Bowl champions in NFL history.
God's blessed us with great players.
Last season's title team led the league in surrendering the fewest points, yards, and touchdowns.
Our philosophy on defense is play hard as we can, and let's execute the technique as well as we can, and then let's fly with it. It promotes a brotherhood and playing for each other, playing with each other. So we demand for each player, each coach to perform their job as best they can and to highlight their talents.
Rocky's game knowledge, leadership, and communication skills have paired him with head coach Pete Carroll for 14 years, 9 of them at USC, prior to their joining the Seahawks in 2010. Their long history together even includes a game-changing instructional video, with Coach Carroll advocating tackling techniques to enhance player safety at all levels of football.
He's the guy that trained me up and raised me up in coaching, and I see him as a friend, I see him as a mentor. I think there's an open line of communication, and I have a great deal of respect for him and admiration.
He's been with me the longest, and I rely on Rocky the most to keep the message true and to stay to it. He's kind of the keeper of the records around here, you know, and so he knows when I start to get off base a little bit or start going down the wrong road, and I count on him, and it's been a role that really nobody else can play.
Learning to play that role didn't come easy. Rocky's early need for affirmation fueled this one goal while in his hometown of Los Angeles.
I used to play football for the University of Southern California. I felt like I'd be something if I'd be able to go to school there and play football there. And a lot of that had to do with validation through my dad. I know my dad enjoyed it. My dad looked up to it. So if I thought to myself, if only I could do this, I could make him proud. And that drove me. That drove me hard.
So hard that after 2 years of junior college, Rocky walked on at USC as a linebacker. The next year, he was awarded a scholarship for his senior season.
And so I got in my Nissan pickup, drove back home, and I said, Papa, Mommy, I got something to tell you. And I told them, today they gave me a scholarship. And that was one of the greatest thrills of my life. And my dad looked at me and goes, you know, you made me believe in the impossible.
Rocky stayed at Southern Cal after graduating, foregoing a doctorate to join the coaching staff as a volunteer assistant. Opportunities progressed once Coach Carroll arrived in 2001, including a national title. Rocky turned down NFL and collegiate offers before being promoted to defensive coordinator. He was released after Carroll was hired in Seattle. Rocky followed, taking an entry-level position with the Seahawks.
My identity was Jesus wrapped up with football, coaching, USC. There's some idols wrapped around it, and the Lord stripped me of those things when He brought me up here. Humbled me. At the time, it was difficult, but looking back, it's like, wow, this is great.
His duties with the Seahawks have expanded, helping tackle instruction, situational defense, and game planning, each playing to Rocky's strength, empowering others in their assignment.
You gotta know who you're working with so that you can meet their needs. Ultimately, that's what it's about.
He's very genuine. His heart is right, and you can tell just the way he talks, just the way he carries himself. He's very passionate about God, and he's very passionate about football. He's helped me in my growth as a football player and spiritually. Might send me a text message, a scripture there, or he can kind of tell when I'm down because we know each other. I've been here going on 5 years. He deserves a lot of credit because he's definitely a key figure in our success here in Seattle.
It's the daily charge here at 12 Seahawks Way. Always compete, bringing the best out of the player, the team, and the organization. But the foundation for competition runs much deeper and broader, drawing the best out of the person.
Competition is competing with yourself to see how good you can be. In essence, you revere that man in front of you who's pushing you to higher limits, higher levels of play that you never could have done on your own, helping each other get better. Our coaching styles that we like to build a relationship with the players. How can we meet the needs of guys so that they can be as good as they can become? That's really our objective as a team. And as a byproduct, it happened to be a Super Bowl.
This defensive passing game coordinator has a perspective that surpasses the game, emphasizing achievement with lasting purpose.
The Super Bowl was awesome. It was great. I'm telling you, it was awesome. It was a lifelong dream of being to be part of that, but still, Jesus, is way better. Because that game is come and gone. It's over. Look at, we're already after the next thing. As soon as you put it as like, okay, this defines me, it's a very disappointing thing. Only Jesus fulfills that role of true meaning.
Rocky's commitment reaches a crescendo when asked where his allegiance lies.
My ministry to Charlotte and the children come first. And next to Jesus being the greatest treasure in my life, they're my treasures. He is who we revere. Jesus is the king of my life. He's the owner of my life. He owns me. He dominates me. I'm under the king that takes care of every single thing that I ever hope or will ever want in my life. He's the king that I serve. He's the king I look to for affirmation. He is my identity. He's taking care of everything for me.
Rocky Seto, impassioned and mission-minded, a Super Bowl winning coach who is true to both team and message.
The reason why I coach is really to advance the gospel message of Jesus Christ. 1 Corinthians 2:2. For I determined to know nothing among you except Jesus Christ and Him crucified. Paul is just consumed with what Jesus has spoken and lived out. By God's grace, I hope that's what it comes down to. So I hope that's my message.